we're in was changing already. We're living through a time of rapid change, and what coronavirus has done has speeded up those changes. There is nothing new that's going to happen that wasn't already on the way, but coronavirus has changed things. And what I'd like to do is just highlight some of the changes, some of the things that are out there. The first thing I'd say, and this is not the good news, is that zoonotic diseases are here to stay. Zoonotic diseases are diseases that are transmitted from animals to human beings when animals and human beings come into contact for the first time. I'm a biologist by background, and studying viral pandemics has been a hobby of mine for years. We've lived through Ebola, AIDS, SARS, MERS, and now COVID-19, all within my lifetime. And if we keep destroying rainforests at the speed we are, we will run into more diseases like this. It is inevitable. My children will see other pandemics. The concern is that we bump into a virus which is as easily transmittable as COVID-19, but as deadly as Ebola. That is just part of the reality of the world we're living in, and as we treat the planet that God has given us in the way that we're treating it. COVID-19 is, above all, a disease which hits the poorest hardest. We see that in the UK and in other Western countries, where it is low-paid workers, people living in substandard housing, who are jammed together, who become more ill, who are more affected and more infected. In other parts of the world, that is exacerbated. There are many parts of the world in which this is not a problem about a disease. It's a problem about economics and starvation because of what's happened during lockdown. Lockdown is fine if you have enough money to see you through, if you've got a stock of food from the supermarket, if you've got a garden to sit in. It's not so good if you have to go to the market every day to get food, if you have to work every day to earn some money. This is a massive economic and social problem. And it's setting back the economic development of a number of countries by years, if not by decades. Here in the UK, we're talking about how long it'll take us to pay back all the money that is being spent on this outbreak. In other parts of the world, it's going to be far bigger. Which brings me just to the issue of finance. We are heading for a massive recession. If you just follow the news, you know that that's going to happen. This will inevitably have an impact on traditional mission structures. We have a model of mission, a way of doing mission, which is finance heavy. Involves flying people across the world in large numbers, all sorts of things which cost a lot of money. And the recession that will hit that. But also because it is the poorest who will suffer, and it is the economics of many, I hate the term, but I can't think of another one on my feet, many mission fields. It means that what we perceive as mission will change. The need for social action, the need for support, the need for education will increase. How that will affect mission agencies is another question. But we're going to have less money here in the UK and in the traditional mission structures, the industrial mission complex. We'll have less money than it's had, but the financial and economic needs around the world will increase. International strife. The face-off between China and the United States was growing. It was happening. COVID-19 has speeded it up. And countries in different parts of the world will be forced to take a side. We saw in the UK yesterday, the government decided to cut Huawei out of the 5G network. To a large extent, that is to do with siding with America over siding with China. I don't make a comment on the benefits of either side. It's just the reality. And as the degree of strife grows, it was always there, it's just being speeded up, that will have an impact. It'll have an impact on our ability to travel. Not only will we have less money for travel, visas are not going to be as easy to get at as they once were. And there are parts of the world where it'll become very hard to work in traditional mission type roles. Related to that is what I'd like to describe as the eclipse of the West. This quote is from James Wong, who, if you listen to Gardener's Question Time here in the UK, you might be aware of him. He's an ethnobotanist and comes from Singapore, but lives in the UK now. When I was a kid in Asia, we all grew up thinking countries like America and Britain were unquestionably superior to us in terms of their approach to public health, their commitment to social justice, the integrity of their politicians. I wonder what kids in Asia think today. The aura of invincibility, the aura of competence, which once surrounded the Western world, is no longer there. It has been shattered by COVID. It is noticeable that the last two great Western imperial powers, the United Kingdom and the United States, have been among the worst countries in the world in responding to this. That is going to change how the rest of the world looks at us, and it will have a change in the church. We won't be seen as the answer to all of the world's problems. Related to that is the death of truth. Around the world, truth is under attack. We have conspiracy theories that are rife. COVID is related to 5G networks. It's spread as a bioweapon. Bill Gates wants to inject people with microchips. All these things. And these compelling narratives are being spread on social media, and they spread like wildfire, and they are believed widely, and they are believed by Christians. Not only that, but these narratives are being used to promote international rivalries, to undermine different nations. This is a big issue that is out there. I've heard a number of stories from colleagues and friends in Africa about the way in which various proposed cures for COVID-19 show the superiority of Africa over the West, and that is being recaptured. Now, whatever the issue, the fact that these conspiracy theories are being used to increase international rivalry is of a concern. And again, that will have an impact on the way that mission is heard. The pressures on people that push people into being refugees will increase. The growth of poverty around the world, the spread of disease are going to push more and more poor people into the Mediterranean across the US border. But at the same time, borders are getting tighter. The restrictions that have been imposed because of COVID-19 won't all be relaxed. Borders which have been closed may never open again. We have to face up to that. Travel is not going to be what it was, and countries, particularly in the West, are going to have to deal with a far larger influx of migrants and refugees than they have in the past. Some issues which were already on the table, which are going to continue. The shifting center of gravity of Christianity. We all know that the majority of the world church is in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. That will continue and that will grow. COVID-19 doesn't change that, but many of our mission structures, many of our ways of doing mission from the West hadn't got on board with that yet. We're still just learning that, but it's still out there. We're going to have to deal with climate change. One of my hobbies is listening to agriculture-related podcasts. Farmers in the UK are under no doubt that we are facing climate change because they are out there all day and they are in it. And it is going to affect the people we work with, the people we do mission with, and that's going to continue. So that's just some big picture issues that we have to face, and I'll stop there.